Judo, founded by the great Kono Jigoro, is a very popular martial art that places great emphasis on fighting. When it comes to mixed martial arts, its effectiveness has never been questioned. Along with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo has been part of modern mixed martial arts since the beginning. These martial arts actually have a lot in common, since Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu emerged from Judo. However, for various reasons, Judo has never enjoyed the same fame in mixed martial arts as Jiu-Jitsu. Over the years, many great judokas have moved on to mixed martial arts and succeeded. In today's video, I present to you the top 10 of them, the ones you may already know about, and the ones you may never have heard of. Well, if you think I've forgotten anyone, be sure to write about it in the comments. 10th place, Rick Hawn. Few modern mixed martial arts fans can recall Rick Hawn's career mainly because he never fought inside the UFC cage. But that doesn't mean he wasn't a very skilled fighter. Rick started judo at the age of 12 and was very talented. The biggest moment of his career came when he was allowed to live and train at the Olympic Training Center in 1996. After 8 years of working and training, he received an invitation to compete in the 2004 Olympics. He was able to make it to the quarterfinals, where he lost to Mamen Azizov and placed 9th overall. Rick moved into mixed martial arts after retiring from judo in 2009. After posting an 8-0 record at regional tournaments, he signed with Bellator in 2010. Immediately, Rick made it all the way to the finals of the 4th season tournament, where he lost to Jay Aaron. After that, he recovered, lost some weight, and won his 6th season tournament at 70 kilograms. He then returned to the 77 kilograms weight class for his 9th season to win his 2nd tournament. 9th place, Hector Lombard. In his prime, Hector Lombard was probably the most intimidating fighter on the planet at 77 kilograms. I mean, the man had the body of a Greek god, and he was a pure crushing machine inside a steel cage. I dare to go even further by saying that he was Bellator's most brutal champion, but that remains open to debate. Even though we know him from brutal knockouts and stand-up fights, Hector is actually an elite judoka. However, he has never really used his judo skills in mixed martial arts simply because he had the power to incapacitate people with one punch. Hector Lombard is a 48th black belt in judo and a former member of the Cuban national team. In his judo career, he has been Cuban national champion 4 times. In addition, Hector also holds a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and his kickboxing skills were among the best in mixed martial arts. Although he has never had much success in the UFC, he is still one of the most intimidating fighters at 77 kilograms. 8th place, Karo Parisyan. Before moving to mixed martial arts in 1999, Karo Parisyan was a well-known name in the judo world and a very experienced judoka. A black belt holder, Karo was 4 times world champion and 6 times national junior champion. The biggest moment in his judo career came when he competed in the 2004 Judo Olympics. Although mixed martial arts wasn't that popular in the late 90s, there was a lot of hype behind Karo's arrival. He managed to win his debut at the age of 17 and then compiled a 7 to record before signing with the UFC in 2003. Karo Parisyan began his UFC career by stopping Dave Strasser in the 1st round. However, a loss to Georges St. Pierre in his next fight forced him to move to the WEC promotion, where he won the 77 kilograms title by defeating Shawnee Carter. He returned to the UFC in 2004, and over the next 4 years he defeated big names like Nick Diaz and Matt Serra. And some fans may remember his war against Diego Sanchez. But despite his good run, Karo Parisyan never fought for a UFC title. 7th place, Shinya Yoki. Shinya Yoki is a Japanese mixed martial arts star and former champion of many promotions such as ONE FC and Dream, as well as an elite judoka holder of the 3-Dan black belt. Honestly, he has never participated in any major judo tournaments, but he has used his judo skills in mixed martial arts very often. In fact, it's fair to say that he built his mixed martial arts career using judo skills. Even though Shinya Yoki is far past his prime, he is still one of the best fighters in modern mixed martial arts. Yoki shines, mixing various wrestling and judo techniques, doing his best work on the mats, where he is very active. He also has a wide arsenal of jiu-jitsu and is always looking to apply them. He has won numerous tournaments during his grappling career, including the All Japan Jiu-Jitsu Championship and the ADCC Japan Championship. 6th place, Yoshihiro Okiyama. Yoshihiro Akiyama was a Japanese mixed martial arts sensation and one of the most charismatic fighters in history. From wild entrances to crazy inside the cage wars, Akiyama was a real showman. Starting judo at the age of 3, he later won the 2001 Asian Championship and the 2002 Asian Games as part of the Korean national team. 2 years later, he would make his first appearance in mixed martial arts at K1 Dynamite. The biggest moment of his career came when he made his UFC debut at the historic UFC 100 tournament. Akiyama was a huge star in both Japan and Korea then, and people went crazy when he defeated Alan Belcher by decision. Still, Akiyama has never had much success in the UFC. He will lose 5 of his next 6 fights and retire from the UFC in 2012. 5th place, Satoshi Ishii. Ishii is one of the most gifted judoka ever to step into the mixed martial arts cage. Even though he has never had much success in fighting, I just have to add him to this list. After all, he is a 6th black belt in judo. Ishii started judo when he was in 5th grade, and as a teenager, he became a world junior champion. He also won the All Japan Judo Championships in 2006 and 2008, and in 2007, as a member of the national team, he won the world competition. A year later, Ishii reached his prime in judo and participated in the 2008 Beijing Olympics, where he won the gold medal. He then took a 2-year sabbatical in judo to make his mixed martial arts debut afterward. 4th place, Kim Dong-hyun. Kim Dong-hyun was one of the most successful South Korean fighters in mixed martial arts and a very talented martial artist. He spent most of his mixed martial arts days fighting for the UFC, where he compiled a 13 for record. But he never got the opportunity to fight for the UFC belt. Kim Dong-hyun started judo very late, at the age of 14, and he never competed in judo. Instead, Kim focused on applying those skills in mixed martial arts, where he could be seen using judo techniques. As a very talented athlete, Kim has the following martial arts belts: 4th Den black belt in judo, 3rd Den black belt in taekwondo, black belt in hapkido, and brown belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. In the UFC cage, he has defeated big names like Nate Diaz and Matt Brown. 3rd place, Daniel Kelly. Daniel Kelly is a true mixed martial artist and UFC veteran with wins over some of the UFC's elite fighters such as Rashad Evans and Chris Camozzi. At one point, Dan had a UFC 7-1 record and was very close to becoming a title contender. However, a loss to Derek Brunson shattered his dream of a championship in pieces. What many fans don't know, however, is that Dan has made great strides in judo as well. Dan started judo at the age of 7 and 6 years later participated in his first tournament. He was a member of the junior judo team and 2 years later made the senior team. Dan was so talented that he represented Australia in 4 Olympics, and he even coached the Australian team at the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. 2nd place, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey was the face of judo in mixed martial arts. I mean, there were judokas in mixed martial arts long before her, but let's be honest, we all think of her when we hear the word judo in the context of mixed martial arts. She was also the first female UFC champion, and a very dominant one at that, becoming champion in Strikeforce and in the UFC. Unlike some other fighters, Ronda made full use of her judo skills in the cage. From the very first seconds of the fight, she made her throws and thigh kicks work, and no one could defend against it. Ronda was enrolled in judo by her mother, also a famous judoka, and growing up, Ronda took on a serious judo career and accomplished the following. She's a 5-time winner of the United States Open, a Pan American Games champion, and a World Championship silver medalist. The biggest moment of her judo career came when she won a bronze medal at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. But she retired shortly thereafter at the age of 21 to pursue a career in mixed martial arts. 1st place, Fedor Emelianenko. Fedor Emelianenko is considered by many to be the greatest mixed martial arts fighter of all time. While this remains open to debate, we can all unite around the fact that Fedor was the most dominant. I mean, the man once had a winning streak of 27 fights. No one could beat him for more than 8 years, including during Pride's glory days. Although we all know him as a fierce attacker, Fedor is really a good fighter and has a black belt in judo. Before entering mixed martial arts, he participated in many judo fights and tournaments. Still, it must be said that he had much more success in mixed martial arts and sambo than in judo. Fedor never relied too much on using his judo skills in the ring or in the cage, but we could often see him defending against takedowns and throwing his opponents off balance using various throws and underhooks. But he built all of his success on using a very explosive series of punches.